Tai Lung was abandoned as a baby. He was raised by a master who pushed him too hard. He was promised something he never received, and he ended up becoming the most dangerous villain the Valley of Peace had ever seen. But there's another character in Kung Fu Panda who went through the exact same thing. And honestly, she had it even worse. Tigress, same orphan story, same master, same desperate need for approval, but somehow she never snapped. She never became a villain. And today I'm gonna show you why Tigress actually had it worse than Tai Lung. And the answer to why she didn't break might be the most important detail in the entire franchise. Let's start with something most people don't know about Tigress. Because before she ever set foot in the Jade Palace, her life was already a nightmare. Tigress grew up in Bao Gu Orphanage. Not a palace, not a temple. A regular orphanage filled with regular kids. And every single one of those kids was terrified of her. They called her Monster. Not behind her back, to her face. Every day, Monster. Because Tigress couldn't control her own strength. She was a tiger cub surrounded by bunnies and pigs and ducks. And every time she tried to play with them, she accidentally hurt someone. Every time she tried to hold something, she broke it. Every time she reached out for a friend, they ran away screaming. Now think about how that feels for a little kid. You don't understand why you're different. You don't understand why everyone is afraid of you. You just know that every single person around you looks at you like you're something dangerous, something wrong, something that should be locked away. And it gets worse, because families would come to the orphanage to adopt children. Tigress would watch from her room as family after family walked in, looked around, and chose someone else. Every single time. Nobody ever chose her. Nobody even considered her. Can you imagine that? Watching every other kid get picked while you sit alone, knowing that no one in the entire world wants you? At least Tai Lung was found by Shifu. At least someone saw him and immediately decided to take him in. Tigress didn't even get that. She sat in that orphanage being called Monster, watching everyone else get a family, until she had completely given up on ever being wanted. And then Shifu showed up, and here's where most people think the story gets better, but it actually gets worse. Because Shifu didn't come to the orphanage looking for a daughter, he came looking for a replacement. Think about the timing. When did Shifu go to Bao Gu Orphanage? Right after losing Tai Lung. Right after his greatest student, the one he raised as his own son, was locked away in prison. Shifu had just lost everything. His student, his son, his pride. And he was broken. So he went looking for someone new. Not because he wanted to love another child, because he needed to fill the hole that Tai Lung left behind. And that's exactly what Tigress became. A replacement, a project. Tai Lung version 2. But here's the cruel difference. With Tai Lung, Shifu made the mistake of loving too much. He praised him constantly. He told him he was destined for greatness. He poured all of his emotion into him. And when Tai Lung turned evil, Shifu blamed himself. He thought, I loved him too much, that's what went wrong. So with Tigress, Shifu went to the complete opposite extreme. He decided he would never make that mistake again. He would never show too much love, never give too much praise, never let another student get too close. And Tigress paid the price for Tai Lung's story. Shifu trained her, but he trained her coldly, distantly, without any warmth at all. She would master a technique and he would just nod and move on. She would win a fight and he would point out what she did wrong. She would look at him hoping for just one word of encouragement and get nothing. Nothing. Do you understand how cruel that is? This is a kid who spent her entire childhood being called Monster.
I am Tigress. Tigress the monster.
The only thing she wanted was for someone to tell her she wasn't a monster, that she was good, that she was worth something. And the one person who was supposed to give her that, her new father, just stood there with a blank face and said, again, at least Tai Lung heard the words, "I'm proud of you. I believe in you. You're destined for greatness." Those words were eventually the problem, but at least he heard them. At least he knew, even for a little while, what it felt like to be loved. Tigress never got that, not once. She went from being called Monster to being treated like a machine. Never a daughter, never a person. Just a student who existed to make Shifu feel like he hadn't completely failed as a master. But it gets even worse, because then Po shows up. Think about this from Tigress's perspective. She has spent her entire life trying to earn Shifu's approval. Years and years of perfect training, perfect discipline, perfect obedience. She did everything right, everything that was asked of her. She became the leader of the Furious Five, the strongest warrior at the Jade Palace. And when the time comes to choose the Dragon Warrior, she's standing right there, ready, deserving. After a lifetime of being called Monster, after years of being ignored by Shifu, this is finally her moment. And Oogway points at a panda who just fell out of the sky. A panda who can't fight, can't train, can't even walk up the stairs without falling. A panda who has zero qualifications. And he gets chosen over her. Now remember what happened when Tai Lung was rejected. He went crazy. He attacked the valley. He destroyed everything. But what does Tigress do? She's angry. She's frustrated. She's hurt. But she doesn't attack anyone. She doesn't destroy anything. She doesn't become a villain. She just keeps training harder, quietly, alone, swallowing the pain like she always has. And nobody in the movie even acknowledges how unfair this is to her. Nobody says, "Hey Tigress, I'm sorry." Nobody says, "You deserve this more than anyone." Nobody says anything. She just gets passed over. Again. Like she's back at the orphanage watching another kid get chosen instead of her. So now let's compare them directly. Tai Lung was told he was destined for greatness. Tigress was told nothing. Tai Lung was rejected for the Dragon Scroll once. Tigress was rejected her entire life. First by her parents, then by the orphanage kids, then by every family that didn't adopt her, then by Shifu's coldness, then by Oogway choosing Po over her. Tai Lung had one moment of rejection and it broke him completely. Tigress had a lifetime of rejection and she's still standing. So here's the question that makes this whole thing fascinating. Why didn't Tigress become a villain? She had every reason to. More reason than Tai Lung, honestly. Same abandonment, same cold master, same rejection, but worse in every way. So what was different about her? And I think the answer is hidden in one small scene that most people skip right past. It's in the Secrets of the Furious Five. When Shifu first comes to the orphanage, he doesn't just take Tigress away. He does something unexpected. He teaches her a game, a simple game where she has to stack these tiny little wooden pieces on top of each other without breaking them. And Tigress can't do it. She keeps crushing them because she's too strong. But Shifu doesn't yell at her. He doesn't call her monster. He patiently shows her how to be gentle, how to control her strength, how to touch something without destroying it. And in that one moment, something happens that changes everything. Tigress learns that her strength isn't a curse, it's a gift. She just needs to learn how to control it. That one lesson gave Tigress something Tai Lung never had: self-awareness. Tai Lung was told he was great, but he was never taught how to handle failure. He was never taught that his worth exists outside of achievements, He was never taught that being strong means knowing when not to use your strength. Tigress learned all of that in one game at the orphanage. Before she ever started training, before she ever threw a punch, she already knew that real strength is about control, not power, and that is why she didn't break. Not because she felt less pain than Tai Lung, she felt more pain, but she had one thing he never did. She knew that strength without control is just destruction, and she refused to become the monster everyone already thought she was. That's the tragic truth about Tigress. She was the strongest character in the entire franchise, not because of her fighting skills, because she carried more pain than anyone and still chose to be good. Tai Lung broke under the weight of one rejection. Tigress carried a lifetime of rejection on her shoulders and never fell. And honestly, that makes her the real hero of Kung Fu Panda. Not Po, not Oogway, Tigress. The kid nobody wanted who became the person everybody needed. But she never got the credit. She never got the scroll. She never got the title. And she never heard the words she spent her entire life waiting for. And that might be the most unfair thing in the entire franchise. But I want to know what you think. Did Tigress have it worse than Tai Lung? Should she have been the Dragon Warrior instead of Po? And do you think Shifu ever realized how badly he failed her? Drop your answer in the comments. I read every single one. And if you want more secrets from the Valley of Peace, hit that notification bell because we are just getting started. See you in the next one.